Okay, hello and welcome to Blue Girls Video Podcast. Today we have dreams for December 2020. The first one is I'm not strong enough. Hisser. I don't remember much of this dream. There was a woman who had stored her boxes in a very small room, almost like a closet. I see an open room in which she plans to move her items into, I'm assuming, I don't know. Later, a guy is helping a woman who looks familiar in dreams from a long time ago. She has curly dark hair. He seems to be training her at some kind of work. This guy has a lot of guy friends. I also see a former friend of mine. He looks Greek with bushy frizzy hair. It isn't my friend. It just looks like him though. Plus he is younger. December 4th through the 5th. Okay, scammers. Uh-oh, the mafia's around somewhere in Dreamland. Okay. This is actually December of 2020. Where was I? I don't know. There was this Caucasian couple that were around me, the type of couple that are scammers. Like they will try to take advantage of people for their own benefit, not caring what the consequences will be of their actions. I guess one of their moms really didn't care about them either. We were all outside and I really didn't want them staying with me, basically because they were scammers, so I wanted to talk it over with someone. I remember thinking of the date 3:30 for some reason, but did not port it or post it. So last night at 3:25 a.m., Hisser. Well, that's weird because this is being recorded February 25th, 2023. So that would, it's March 25th, right? And so sometimes these dreams or whatever I get are like in a month in advance. They could be years in advance too. So I heard get you arrested. So I don't know what that is. And some of the stuff that I hear, most of it does not come true. Knock on wood. But I let one of my friend's girlfriend see a list of things that I heard from God or whatever you want to call it. And some of it did come true. Most of it didn't. And some of it I don't know. But anyway, break-in is the next dream. I'm not for sure if I am in this dream or not, but I recall walking into my kitchen late at night and looking at my front door. It looks like the door has been messed with. The chain lock is kind of off. And it looks like someone tried to break in. The door is kind of funny. Also, the door is a different color. I don't recall hearing any noise. Then I turn on a phone or table, but the screen doesn't look familiar at all. Okay, so the next dream is going to be boxes. I had two dreams, and my friend A is in both of them. First, I see an empty one bedroom with light-colored rug. I have dreams of this apartment before, but cannot remember the exact time or date. So then, my friend is helping me move boxes into or out of storage. I see him bringing boxes to a certain locker number, which isn't correct. So then I go see a couple of people in the office. One is a Mexican woman, the other is a Caucasian woman. I seem to try avoiding seeing them earlier, but since my friend has two different stalker or storage locker numbers, I need to talk to them. Later, I'm not for sure where I am located, possibly at a hotel. I see an African-American guy sitting on a couch in the lobby area. I mentioned to my friend about this dream of him with all these boxes, and his girlfriend told me that my friend had about 8 boxes that was formerly used to hold liquor, so I was correct. Class. Okay, so then the next dream is sorority mixed with a play. I took a nap. So this dream was a little bizarre. I was an observer of these 20-somethings all hanging out and being merry. Most of the people were Caucasian guys and possibly were in a community room with couches at a sorority at college. So then something odd happened. All these characters, some known and unknown to me, started appearing in the room. Like I saw the Penguin played by Danny DeVito in Batman Returns. I thought he did an amazing job. Then I saw other characters of shows but couldn't really identify the people or show associated with the character. I just remember looking in one direction to see a character, then in another direction to see another character. All characters were middle-aged men. During the dream, I felt at ease and positivity. Okay, so December 11th, I say they have been planning it. Okay, so it's December 12th, scraggly guy. I don't remember much of this dream. A woman went to go visit an old friend and can see him standing by his door talking to her. He has scraggly hair. I guess he recently married, which the woman didn't know. They were sexual with each other. Okay, so the next dream is going to be the paranormal. I will be writing about some of my paranormal experiences because sometimes I think they can coincide with my dreams and real life events. These people, for the most part, always happen while I am in bed. So last night I could sense some entity in my room, like looking right at my face, which made me nervous and felt afraid. The entity made a noise and I batted whatever it was with my hand. A while after hiding underneath the covers, I fell asleep and had a dream. So I remember this one. It was, and this doesn't really happen too much. There was something, it was just like looking at my face. And, I was lying in bed and it kind of freaked me out because it was kind of just uncomfortable. And that doesn't usually happen with, that sense when somebody's looking at my face. Why would you be looking at my face? But anyway, so this is a dream. Some acquaintance and myself were having a conversation about a woman that were read about in the newspaper a long time ago. She either took a trip or moved to New York. I thought perhaps that she was originally from California, but not sure. Then this overweight Italian guy was storing what looked like business shirts in a small room, like all packed together. This happened last night while I was trying to fall asleep in my bed. So again, this entity showed up and started semi-massaging one of my legs. He, she, or whatever it is starts blowing warm air on my face, usually by my mouth. So yeah, this was like, I think I talked about this in another dream in which whatever it was would go like right to my face just to irritate the heck out of me. And I think, to let him know his presence was there. This is why I try to hide underneath the covers or hide my mouth so I don't feel this entity breathing on me. That's kind of creepy when you're lying in bed, and I've stated that, some of this stuff, a good part of it happens when I'm lying in bed, which I don't know why that would happen. Maybe because they come to me when I'm in my, half asleep or when I'm sleeping. So then, because this one, I would be asleep and I would wake up and, from somebody blowing on, or something blowing on my face. Not all the time, but anyway, this happened a couple times, not a lot. So then he proceeds to do something sexual with my legs. I forgot what that was, and I don't want to remember. And I eventually tell him to leave my legs alone. I also felt a doggy walking on my bed and felt his warmth next to me. I don't care about the puppies. And I've had that before, dogs jumping on the bed. But are they puppies? They're dogs, right? So needless to say, I do have a history of depression, but not of seeing or hearing things. I've experienced ghosts and other paranormal experiences throughout the years, not many times, but usually in a house. At times, other family members have experienced paranormal ghost experience as well. So I did state this in another document of BlueGirlsVideo podcast, in which my family lived in a haunted house. We used to call it the chicken coop. And I was 8 years old, I said, I mentioned this, and I saw a ghost. And I've had other things like I was lying down and I had my arm extended, like this, and the TV's right in front of me, and somebody touched my hand. I remember saying, someone touched my hand, right? So when I was I've always never been able to sleep face down and go like this or extend my arm because I'm afraid somebody's going to touch it. But there was other things too. Like my mom, when she first moved in there, she had all the lights on in the house, and the cupboards would open and close by themselves. So that's kind of all that I know of. But it was haunted. So So December 5th, 2020, it isn't necessary. December 16th, 2020, dream or memory, hisser. Last night I heard a hissing sound like a cat. Then the hisser was walking on my bed and then came by me. Also, when I awoke, I thought of a dream or memory from a long time ago. The house was older and had interesting architecture, and it seemed to be owned by a woman who is wearing Victorian clothing. Okay, I vaguely remember this. I dressed with hat, with possibly a feather sticking out of her hat. At first, I thought she rents out rooms or apartments to mainly young women. Like the place is empty. I can see her walking around in a hurried manner. Now I remember this dream. I think this was kind of the only dream I've had of something kind of Victorian, as far as a house or a woman. Okay, so then I see a young woman with a pointy nose, smiling and wearing a dress. She might also have ribbons in her hair. Not for sure if the girl is related to this woman or not. The girl also has fine blonde hair. I just started researching my family history, ancestry again, and sometimes when this happens, I have noticed I have dreams or memories of another time, and it usually is in black and white. And it also could be black and white because it could be something on, black and white TV. I don't know. Okay. Renee. A woman and guy were driving around in his small car. The guy was telling her of a situation that she was not involved or knew nothing about. Later, the woman is at her apartment and an African American woman is storing her beauty items at her place. Then I see Renee O'Connor in this dream, the actress. It could just be somebody with the same name. Hisser again. I had a dream but forgot when I woke. Okay, so I went out of town to visit friends and ended up crashing at one of my friends' place due to transportation issues. My sleeping patterns are off, so was awake when had a paranormal experience while lying on a friend's couch. There was no hissing or breathing onto my lips this time, so around 2 a.m. I felt something repeatedly smash into my mouth, so I covered my mouth to make it stop. It happened again at 3 a.m. and then subsided. Earlier this week, there was a day in which I was talking too much in general, which is unusual, and at with my friends. Well, I do tend to talk more with my friends than anybody else. Like I tell them, you would be surprised that I don't talk as much. I used to talk, I think, a lot more when I was younger. I don't know. I just don't, I don't really like to talk, believe it or not. Probably because part of it is like when I used to be like one of those women who kind of shoots from both hips when I was in my 20s, and, I thought it was a strength, but I grew up with brothers. But then I realized that, and this was kind of a hard lesson to learn, that most people didn't really want to hear what I had to say. Like, I would be assertive about this and assertive about that. And I just felt like people would, especially these younger generations, they don't like being told what to do. Like, it just pisses the hell out of them. And, I wasn't doing that to be authoritative. I would do it to be helpful, right? Because I was kind of the caretaker in the family. So I ended up just kind of deciding not to do that because I was like, well, people don't want to hear my opinion most of the time, and it's not my responsibility. I just felt like I was, taking on too much responsibility, and, I'm not no catcher in the rye. And so, anyway, I kind of... Okay, so then I thought of the word dolphin, December 22nd, 2020. I was surprised to watch a show that I heard the words Dolphin Sea, I don't know what that is, to find out it's an address. I am still like, what the F does dolphin mean? Then later during the survey, I saw the word dolphin again. So after I stayed up all night, I went to bed and had a dream, but for the life of me could not remember. So then I had another dream that kind of remembered there was this one woman who was kind of attracted to this one really buff looking guy, but hasn't let on that she likes him. They don't seem to know each other. So then the woman is on a bus again, and it pulls up to a restaurant around 3 or 4 in the morning. It's still dark outside after 50 or so predominantly white guys are waiting in line for the restaurant to open up, which it eventually does open. Maybe it isn't a restaurant but a retail store. I can see the bus driving up to this location and know it's a bus because the view and dream is elevated. Okay, so that's happened quite a bit. Not a, I don't know about quite a bit, but I'll get something in a dream, a word or whatever, or a dream, like dolphin or whatever. I'll think about dolphins, and then I'll see something like the word dolphin or whatever appear within a day or two. It's no big whoop. Doesn't mean I just, it just kind of happens sometimes. Okay, so this is going to be, blondie and brunette. Last night I had a dream about several things. First, there were 2 young women. One was a pretty long, dark-haired brunette, and the other was a slim, short-haired blonde. The blonde-haired woman might have been staying at the brunette's place. She didn't have her own bed in her room. Also, for some reason, there were several pieces of paper on top of the refrigerator. The blonde-haired woman moved into her room. The front door had a screen door, and the mailman slid the mail underneath the door. I did not think that I was present in dream, but remember telling that dark-haired woman that there were places that I wanted to go to travel that don't want to anymore, which is true in real life. One of the young women mentioned South America. So when I was in my 20s, there was places I would want to go. I know I always wanted to go into Boston because I used to flop around and say, I'm Irish, to find out that I'm majority English. But I do have Irish in there. But I think that I meant my mom's personality, the blue eyes, Irish eyes are smiling. We have the same eyes, only people in our family that have blue eyes. So, I felt more Irish, even though I've never been Ireland. But anyway, I look more English. I could be more English and not even know it, right? So anyway, and there were other places that I wanted to go. I remember I wanted to go to Guatemala for the longest time. And so there's places I just don't want to go anymore. I don't know. It just, there's places I wanted to go, but I'm not as gung-ho about them. I mainly want to go to foreign places because I've kind of seen just about everything that I want to see in the United States, except for a couple things or whatever. Anyway, then the blonde woman is walking around town with a pistol, possibly a concealed weapon. She sees a guy with a pistol hoisted to the side of his pants. I see a teenager embraced her dad so she can take a picture. At first, I thought it was her boyfriend, but do not get a clear picture in the dream. So Desolate Mountains. This is the last dream for December 2020. As I was trying to get asleep, a forgotten dream came to me from many years ago. I remembered being on public transportation bus, and the bus turns off the highway to an area that is straight, that has a couple of businesses on the side of the road. I cannot remember the name or type of business, but can see me waiting at a bus stop to return to wherever I came from. This place might be in the mountains, although I do not see any mountains in dream, but it feels like it's higher up. So, sometimes when I get the word higher up, it could be somebody who's in a higher up position who is in the mountains. I don't know. Sometimes I think some of these things are symbolic. So that is all I have for you today is December 2020. I decided to just kind of do these dreams by month because I was rushing it. If you watch some of these dreams in its entirety, some of the words I cannot pronounce because I'm trying to rush. That's part of it, and plus I'm most likely dehydrated. So I figured, well, why not? Most people don't even watch these, so what's the rush, right? So anyway, so thank you for watching, and thank you.